Hi Jamie, it's Professor Melanie giving you feedback on your data analytics evaluation number 2, where we talk about the target or the goal. So I know I apologize that your feedback video got back to you a little bit late. So again, I'm just going to probably go over maybe some similar stuff for this one, but I'll be a little briefer in the beginning. And as always, my goal is just to help everybody be a little bit better at writing and synthesizing information and analyzing things. So never take anything that I say in my video feedback to be anything other than positive, and working towards helping you be a better nurse, a better leader, a better educator, a better writer, any of those things. And APA will be your friend someday. So you're going to want to add a title page. And if you do the title page, then you'll have it for the final paper, which incorporates parts 1, 2, and 3 into it. So, and the title page should have a running head at the top, your page numbers, which I don't think you had page numbers. No, always make sure you put page numbers in. And then your title would go above your name. So title goes here. And then it would be, of course, these would be capital letters. And then this would be centered on your title page, and it would be also centered in the middle of the page. And then usually most places put Mercyhurst on here. So you could do that. You wouldn't need to put this assignment number, but you could put the date. A lot of times people will have you put the date. It could either be the date or the semester. So I'm just going to put fall 2022 just so that you have all of that in there. That way, if someone was ever looking for when you wrote the paper, they would know. And then what you would want to do, I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay, so what I did is I just pulled this all into the next page. So the next page, if you were writing an abstract, would be your abstract page, and then the next page after that would be this page where you actually start your discussion. So when you're doing this, you would actually repeat, after the title page, you would repeat your title centered. I can't type today, but you get my point. The title would go here again. It would be bolded and centered. So if I can get that in there. So, okay. And then this would be your intro, and you don't use the word introduction. You just start typing. And then what I've been discussing with other people, and I talk about all the time, are headers. So we already did the paper called The Problem. So you can talk about your introduction, and then the problem is, I'm going to see if, I think I can do it here. I'm just going to add this in just for purposes of showing. So in our APA headers, it kind of lets you know that you're jumping from kind of one topic or transitioning to another. So you could even put the problem, maybe I'm just going to write this out because I don't know how you're exactly stating it, but technology or the pump, the medical record doesn't alert the staff. Sounds like that's kind of what you're saying, is the medical record doesn't somehow alert the staff of whatever it is. There's a lab, a titration, and whatever. I mean, we do a really good job with alerting people of allergies as soon as we scan a med. So isn't there a way that we can do this, I think, is what you're saying with technology, which I really hope that someday we can definitely make that happen. So again, and then, the next thing would be, I'm just going to make this, let me see if I can come down here. Okay, sorry about I didn't even know you could make a paper do that on its own. So what I'm going to put in here is another level 1 heading, and we're going to put the goal or the target, whatever you want it to be, using barcode technology. I'm just, again, making this up, for alerting staff. And again, I'm just totally making up words to kind of get my point across to you. So maybe that's what your goal is. You're going to have a barcode technology that alerts the staff, or maybe Epic, heaven forbid, would alert staff in some capacity. So you're saying here, this is the goal, by establishing a method for a current barcode technology to pull that information in, then it can help not overdose or underdose a patient. So that's what your goal is. And then at the end, you just want to say, you want to have clinical problems clearly identified, which you did, and directly related to information systems or technology, which it is. The significance, it is very significant because it can lead to death or harm. And I would definitely add, so if you are able to find, statistics on how many people get wrong doses of heparin, then add that in there, because that helps to really get your point across and really get your audience to say, wow, that really is a problem. If the Joint Commission, CMS, and 15 studies have shown that people who get the wrong dose of heparin have more bleeds, or they have a higher mortality rate or something like that, then you're backing up your discussion with power from studies and other agencies and people who believe in that issue, or even if it's Vanco or TOBRA that you were talking about. So that's what I would do. And then so you've got your goal, and then for purposes of this paper, I know we're kind of making up a little fictitious, it can be a real or a fictitious or, a created issue. So you have a real issue, but maybe we don't have the opportunity or the technology to do this. But in this instance, maybe you do, because it's maybe you have the software knowledge. So you can say, this company will create the software to incorporate lab levels and the scanning together. So you can say, this is what we're going to make this technology, or we're going to have, this technology. Maybe you could say this technology's already been created. We're going to implement it, and then we are going to reduce those barcode scanning issues, from errors of 50% to errors of 20%. So something like that, where you're giving a target or goal that's really clear and it's measurable, achievable, that type of thing. And then what we're going to do in our number 3 evaluation is use data. So you're going to kind of add to your first paper and this paper together, kind of make the first parts of your paper, and then the data component's going to come in, and you could even say, I'm just making this up. It can be any title you want it to be, like current state of barcoding, or current state of, I'm going to just call it heparin errors at ABC Hospital, which I hope is in a real hospital. And then you can say, again, this would be bolded, and then you can make up your data and say, currently, at our hospital, the heparin overdose rate is, I'm going to make this up, like 75% of patients. So after implementing, after implementing whatever, you can state what your interventions are going to be. We created this software, we got it to talk from the lab to the barcoding, and then we implemented it with the nursing staff, and then they actually used the barcoding because they were only barcoding patients at 60%. We increased that to 80%. So then you're kind of presenting some data, and it can be like false data that you're just making up for this particular scenario. Nothing in here is actual. It's a little bit of dream goals and wishes and what you want to make up. And then the results will be, at the end, when we do our 4th paper, the results are that, the heparin overdose rate was reduced to only 10% of patients because we got nurses to do more barcoding, and we've got these 2 software components to talk between lab and the barcoding of the medication. So it kind of all ties together, and it just gives you like that dream. If you could use technology to do what you want, what could we possibly achieve? So hopefully that helped. Because I think this is you have great discussion. What else can you find? What have other hospitals done? Even if you just looked up this topic, have you found any articles in peer-reviewed journals or anything that has shown that they were able to make those two things talk? Put that information in here so that you can really say it's possible. And then you would add those references. So hopefully by now you would want to find references that say, especially right here, like lab levels and their meanings. Like, so if you can find papers that show that having those peaks and troughs of VANCO are critical to patient safety, then you want to find those articles and add them in to support your cause. So as we go through these, like as you go through paper 1 and 2 feedback that I give you, you can tweak these papers so that when you get into number 3 and number 4, all of that information that you had previously is a little bit tweaked and a little bit revised, because it's all going to turn into one final project or paper together. So hopefully that helped. I know my videos are kind of long, but I really love to make sure that everybody understands kind of what they're writing, how they're writing, what our goal is, how we can analyze things and bring it together and synthesize and really use this information systems or technology in a way that's effective, efficient, meaningful, and it does lead to safe patient outcomes, because if not, why are we using all of this technology? So, but if you need any questions answered, I'm always here. Just reach out, and thanks for sharing your topic with me and your paper.